I didn't hate my life. I stay strong, I stay wise. I let hands my life. I stay strong, I stay wise. I let hands my life. While we
Hey, our Patrice Bryant here, and I am the host of While We Wait. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to my viewers on Facebook, on YouTube, and to my podcast listeners. I'm super psyched today. I told you I'd get him on here. I have my acupuncturist, Mr. Richard Covello of Acupuncture, Connecticut, and I'm so excited about that because now we can find out what's the deal about acupuncture. um, I told you bits and pieces about my journey and got him here today. So before we bring him on, I would like you to do something for me. Will you please first like and subscribe? But also, many of you have seen my return guest, Dr. Tiffany Jackson. She was here last week. She is an opera singer slash bodybuilder. I know it's an interesting combination. But well, first of all, let me show you her picture again. This is Dr. Tiffany Renee Jackson. That is my vocal coach. And she's currently in a competition. So I would love it, love, if you all would go on and vote for her because it is by votes. And here's the information. If you would go there, and I understand that you can vote more than once. So vote as many times as it will allow you to. It's for free. Just vote, because we want Tiffany to win. She's been on While We Wait many times and shared some wonderful information. One time she was on speaking on discipline. And then she's been on with the three maestros and the two sopranos, and then the two maestros and the two sopranos. She was on last week with us as we celebrated Juneteenth. So please go to https://mshealthandfitness.com/2021/Tiffany. And if you didn't get any of that, my podcast listeners, you can contact me on Facebook, or Patrice Bryant, or on While We Wait, and I will give you that information again. But please support my girl, Tiffany Renee Jackson. We told you last week that she will be relocating to North Carolina as she is now the professor of music at Western Carolina University. So again, help me help her. All right. Vote. Thank you so much for that. All right. So I hope you enjoyed last week's discussion. You see, I had three very opinionated friends on in regards to, well, we started with Juneteenth and the music and what's going on in society today. Everybody has their opinion, and this is just a platform to share. So we don't always agree, but we are agreeably disagreeable. But anyway, I love it. I love that we can talk and communicate about times and issues and things that are going on in the world. All right, guys. So without further ado, let's bring out the Needle Man. Hi,
Yeah.
Richard.
Hi. Well, Tiffany's got my vote now.
Please. Tiffany is amazing. She was actually on America's Got Talent. I believe it was that one. And she went on as a opera singer slash bodybuilder. And she sang the national anthem as she was flexing her guns. And,
Oh boy.
it was great.
You don't hear that every day.
No, not at all.
Opera
Not
singer,
at all.
bodybuilder. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she is. She's great. So, Richard, let me just say that I am a fan and I enjoyed every bit of my journey and my experience with you guys. And I will certainly be back. I just took a little break because I needed to work on another part of my body.
Anytime.
It was great. It was absolutely great and effective, I must say. So, yeah. So let's just tell us something about you that we don't know.
Well, I'm an acupuncturist.
Yeah.
Grew up in New York, grew up in Long Island, worked in corporate America for about 9 years.
Hmm.
Um, wasn't for me, wasn't a desk jockey. And somewhere along the lines, a friend of mine said, you should become an acupuncturist.
Hmm.
Because I had always been interested in Chinese culture, got
Okay.
into karate and everything when I was a kid, that whole thing.
Sure.
And took one class and I loved it. It was
Excellent.
amazing. I was like, wow, they really put it together. They've been working on it a long time. And 20, 25 years later, here I am as an
Awesome.
acupuncturist. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Um, so, okay, you said you've embraced the Chinese culture, but how did you? I know you said a friend, but that was the connection over into being an acupuncturist.
I was always into Asian culture. You know, my
Okay.
father used to joke and be like, he thought he brought the wrong kid home from the hospital.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because I was, between martial arts and learning how to speak Japanese and the whole thing. And he was just like, wow, how did you get into? He just couldn't figure out where I got my interest in Asian culture from.
Yeah.
And it was from when I was a little kid. And, I gave the corporate life a try. I
Yeah.
did it. I did 10 years and just so happened upon becoming an acupuncturist. I think it was a little bit of fate, a little bit of luck,
Sure.
and a little bit of interest, and I help a lot of people. So
Absolutely.
it's a good thing.
So this medicine originated from the Asian culture. What can you tell us about some of the roots or where it came from, how all of this connects?
Okay. Well, Chinese medicine has been worked on for about 3,000 years.
Mhm.
So there are entire textbooks and there are colleges of Chinese medicine, and generation after generation have been working out the details of it since before Christ. So, um, I think for me, I haven't invented anything new about Chinese medicine. What I've been able to do is explain it to the average person how it works, because acupuncturists have their own language. And that language is meaningless to Americans unless you know the language. You know what I
Sure.
mean? We use words people aren't familiar with. They actually talk about yin and yang in medicine. Uh, everybody knows yin and yang from the symbol, but it's actually a science, like a scientific term in
Mhm.
Chinese medicine. It has
Okay.
a specific starting point. So, but because I'm asked over and over and over thousands of times in my career, how does it work? How does it work? I
Mhm.
had to spend time thinking about it and trying to explain it. Whereas in China, people don't go to the acupuncturist and ask them how it works. It's just part of their. It's like you don't
Right.
go to the dentist and say, "So how does it work?"
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting journey. I mean, to this day, I'll talk to my father on the phone and he goes, does that really work? So I'm,
So how does it work? Like I know it's something with the needle and the like in its simplistic form. How does it work? For instance, I know that um, I said, okay, well, I know you can target digestion. And you said, okay, we'll put one here.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Well, there's two things. There's internal medicine, which is definitely more complex when you're like treating somebody's digestion. And then there's neuromuscular problems, which is just, you have a shoulder problem or
Mhm.
you have a knee problem. So I'll start with the one that everybody can see, which
Okay.
is like, say you hurt your knee playing tennis 15 years ago and it never really got better. And it's always been bothering you. And now you're like, oh, I'm tired of this knee bothering me. I got to do something about it. I can't play tennis like I used to.
Sure.
Right. Right. So 3,000 years ago, the first acupuncturist, I'm guessing now, they don't teach this in acupuncture school. They have their own language. But I needed a way to explain it that I could understand it and I
Mhm.
could explain it to you. So 3,000 years, and I don't want people to run with this and start hurting themselves. You know what I mean? I'm not kidding.
Right.
People, you say something and people take it too far. So I got to
True.
clarify that, you know. All right. So the first acupuncturist probably figured out that we're a self-healing organism. In other
Yes.
words, you get a cut, it starts to get better immediately. Your body works on it, and 5 days later, 10 days later, it's like magic, you know.
Mhm.
And if you did it really fast in a movie setting, it would be Arnold Schwarzenegger and like Terminator. You know, gets
Right.
cut and it heals right away. Well, we're sort of the same thing. Well, the first acupuncturist realized that if I come along and I create little injuries with the pin where the old injury was, I can trick the body into doing repair work,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So if you touch your own knee with your finger, a signal gets sent to your brain, and you can say, "Oh, Rich is touching my knee."
Yeah.
So you know that the signal went from your knee to your brain. Now, if
Yeah.
I take a little pin and I poke a hole there, a signal goes to your brain that an injury happened. And long story short is, what happens when? How do I know this is true? Okay, how can I, without question, tell you this is true? Okay. Well, when you get an injury, what happens? You have a little bit of pain.
Mhm.
It's sore. You get stiff. You want to sit down, right? And then
Yes.
as time goes on, you get better.
Mhm.
Well, I have people tell me all the time, "Oh, I felt worse that night, but then the next day I woke up and I was better."
Wow.
Right? Like thousands and thousands of times this happens.
Sure.
Okay. So what happens is every time you come in, I trigger that sequence of events
Mhm.
for a neuromuscular condition like your knee. Right? This is not internal medicine. That
Mhm. Right.
we'll get to that. But so I put up pins around the area, and your body says, "Oh, we just kneeled on a porcupine or something.
Mhm.
Go do repairs." And every time you come in, I trigger that event, and that's why I'm able to cure people, because I get the body to fix itself. And there's another thing that medical doctors do to get you to fix yourself too.
Right.
They give you a vaccine,
True.
and your body prepares a defense in case it comes in contact with that later. And
Right.
we've all just got that vaccine. So this is the Chinese medicine's version of something like that.
Right.
All right,
So
that's one.
let me tell you what's interesting. Let me just interject here. Now, I came to you and you treated me for stress, digestion, and I know that you can or you do acupuncture for acne. Now, I don't have acne, but I have to tell you, my skin just got great.
Very
Uh,
interesting. Glad you asked that. That's a great one. Thank you for asking that one, really. Because that's a great one to explain internal medicine
okay.
with acupuncture,
Okay.
where some of the other ones are a little bit harder to, and people take it the wrong way.
Sure.
Let's talk about acne,
Okay.
right? Acne is, people tend to experience acne at certain ages in their life. You know, teenagers, people, women age in 7 year cycles, men age in 8 year cycles,
Okay.
right? So a woman's in her prime hits her puberty at 14, hits her prime at 28. Men, it's 16 and hit their prime at 32.
Okay.
Okay? So you get that. All right. So what happens with acne? Acne isn't from dirt,
Right.
right? That's not it. And it's really not from food either. Everybody thinks that. What it really is from is hormones coming out in your sweat. And you know, bodybuilders, some of the old school guys would take steroids,
Mhm.
right? Well, that's what's on your skin, like steroids. With women, it's estrogen. With men, it's testosterone out in your
Okay.
sweat.
Yeah.
Now, the bacteria feeds off that. All right? So that's what's causing the acne. The bacteria is exposed to testosterone or estrogen that comes out in your sweat. All right. So that's that. That's what's causing acne for hormonal type acne situation. All right. So now we have that. Now we're going to go deep. Internal medicine. All right.
Yeah.
If I don't want estrogen, your excess, because during certain times in your life, you're like booming with estrogen or booming with test. You know, you're a 18-year-old man. You can jump the highest you ever jumped, lift the most weight. You know what I mean? You're a rock star, right? And it's
Right.
coming out in your sweat, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I stop that from all the excess coming out? I'll get your body to pee it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the excess will come out through your bladder. You'll pee it out. Okay.
Okay.
So what I'll do is to treat acne, I will focus on the kidneys. I'll treat the kidneys, and then if there's an outbreak at a specific area, I'll do the pins around the area. So I get
Okay.
an immune response locally while I'm getting the person to pee more out of their bloodstream.
Mm-hmm.
Now I treat the symptom and I give them a cure, a systemic cure.
Yes.
That I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but
No, I understand. And I understand because I had cystic acne
okay.
for years. So I wish I would have known this years ago before I took Accutane, which is like super, super, super strong.
Yeah,
Uh, but it did. I did a couple of rounds and it did clear me up. And I haven't really had that issue because I had it bad. And
yeah.
before we came on, I told you that I sweat a lot, so it's all clicking in my head now. So you're making total sense.
Yeah, and I didn't go much farther in the study of that than that because I'm like a primary care guy. I'm not
Okay,
a dermatologist. I don't see
sure.
thousands of cases of acne, and I'm sure there are other causes for it. But
Hmm.
the most common that I see is people are at a certain point in their life and their hormone levels change. It
Okay,
could be 48, it could be 35, it could be 14. It's in that type of change in their life.
sure.
And it was very interesting to figure it out. You
I'm
know,
sure. Yeah,
it
I
was
mean,
like
everybody's different.
yeah, it was like wow,
Every-
I figured out how to treat acne. This is great.
So let me just say to my podcast listeners, we're on today with Richard Covello. He is an acupuncturist. And tell us where you are. You in more than one office or
I work mainly in Orange, Connecticut right now.
okay?
About 10 minutes from New Haven and about 15 minutes from Bridgeport. So off of 95, so you get an idea where I'm at.
Okay,
And
perfect.
been doing this a
Perfect.
long time.
And I have Richard's information on the screen now. So if you are in the area and you're interested, you certainly can give a call for an appointment. Something else I wanted to ask, because I'm one of those people who will research everything. How should you dress when you come for acupuncture?
Well, first, it should be the most relaxing thing. If it hurts, it's bad for business. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like so, if you've tried it before and it wasn't totally relaxing, you just got to pick another provider.
yeah.
It shouldn't. It should be. You should leave and just feel good. So
And again, it's so interesting. My experiences were really great. I didn't come for pain, but I do have a pain in my muscle from sitting down so long. I think maybe the last time I was there, you targeted that area, but I have to say, even before I told you about it, whatever else you did, it affected that area as well. So
yeah,
I don't. Maybe my systems are crossed up, so everything
yeah.
was working. It was
I
in
always
sync.
I always treat the whole. I treat everybody the whole thing.
Oh, okay,
Even if I'm treating your digestion, I'm going to treat you for stress, or
yeah.
I kind of see what's going on. But um, you
So
know,
for those
what do
that
you what do you wear? Your question is, I
yes,
have gowns, or you could bring shorts, whatever you're comfortable in. I mean,
okay.
everybody has a different comfort level when it comes to getting treated. So it's really about being comfortable.
Sure. Let me also ask, for those that are not in our area, when someone is looking for an acupuncturist, what are some of the questions they should ask, or what should they be looking for, especially if they've never gone before?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like every profession, there's politics and a lot of stuff going on that shouldn't be going on, but it is going on. So what you want to look for is you want to look for somebody who's passed the national exam. It's
Okay.
NCCAOM. And what that is they had to graduate from an acupuncture school that's 3 years or 4 years in length. Okay,
Mhm.
and they had to pass the national exam.
Okay.
There are states that are allowing people to do acupuncture with 100 hours of training, 200 hours of training, because they have a license in another form of medicine. And that's just not, I don't recommend those people. That's just my
Okay.
opinion.
Yep. Yep. I
Okay,
understand.
because 4,500 hours versus 100 hours. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So look for somebody who went to school for 4 years, uh, certified by the National Acupuncture Commission, and that's about it.
That's good stuff. That's
Yeah,
good. It's good to know, because I'm one of those risk takers. So I was like, let's try this. But you know, I know
yeah,
if some people, it's good to do your homework as much as possible. Before I came, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. So I was like, okay, at least I know what to ask for. Um, Let me ask you, what are the types of, what do you target? What are the different types of body parts or situations that you target for acupuncture?
well,
There's so many
pain,
benefits.
yeah, pain uh, is makes the phone ring. I mean, that's the truth. People have back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, knee
Mhm.
pain, any kind of pain condition. Um, do a lot of work with anxiety. Okay, very common to treat people for anxiety. Do some fertility work,
Mhm.
which people wouldn't think of, but that's internal medicine. That's really complicated to explain. Um, but the most common, like Medicare now pays for back pain and acupuncture. Most insurance companies that pay are paying for pain type
Wow.
conditions. Okay, some pay for anything we do, but with COVID, this world we're in today, treating a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. And let me just interject right here, because I'm not somebody that is stressed out. However, during all of this and having to be inside so much, sometimes you don't realize how much we carry in our bodies. We don't think about it,
Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons why I came, because of cortisol. And you don't have to be stressed out, but you still carry stresses of everyday life. So,
definitely.
and then that can, um, I noticed like the weight gain. I couldn't shake it. Where normally I can just tweak my diet and but inflammation and just so much was going on because we're home all day, sitting in one spot. Well, I was,
Yeah,
but I definitely, and I had to put the work in. I mean, there's no magic to losing weight. It's like abs are made in the kitchen, and you do have to put in the work physically to get the body that you want. But I did see, it's almost like it gave me a breakthrough to assist me with losing the weight, because at one point I was working out and nothing was happening.
mm,
So I was very, very happy about that. So when we say it, sometimes people don't associate, when they hear stress and anxiety, they're like, oh, I don't need that. I was one of those people, but then I
mm.
recognized, yes, I do. So
Well,
yeah.
stress. Everybody that comes in, I treat for stress.
Okay.
Everybody, because it's such a big deal. People have no idea. It really. I mean, you think about it. I mean, you'll see guys who are 200 pounds, all muscle, but they have very stressful lives. All of a sudden, they die of a heart attack.
Yeah,
Right? Because we got little parts in our body, and stress affects that. Where
absolutely.
your biceps and your pecs, no effect.
Hmm.
So on the outside you're fine. But the inside gets
Yeah,
affected.
that inside. Absolutely.
People get digestive problems,
Yeah.
headaches, uh, you know, and stress makes everything worse. And this is what I loved about Chinese medicine, is that they connect the emotion with the organ system. So here's one to think about. So the organ system related to stress is the liver,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the liver and gallbladder are the organs we think when people are irritable, stressed, angry. And what do people do when they're irritable, stressed, and angry? They tend to have a cocktail,
Yeah.
a drink. Why? They're treating the liver, right? They're medicating the liver system.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like the Chinese explain all that, and
Yeah.
that's what got me hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Is the connection to the a specific emotion to an organ in your body.
Yeah.
So, like you sing, you're a singer, right?
Yes.
Singing brings joy. Singing is the Chinese have mapped this out. Singing brings joy, and joy, the emotion of joy affects the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And it's beautiful. You know what I mean? This is part of the medicine. I mean, this is like we diagnose with this,
Yeah.
so,
That's good
it's kind of
stuff.
cool. Yeah, it's
It,
cool.
it is. It is cool.
It is cool.
Um. So I can answer this because I was the victim. No, I'm just kidding. And I've said it before. The needles did not hurt. I'd have to say that the only thing I felt was when they went in between my toes because the skin is so thin. I felt the prick, but it did not hurt. I felt it. I knew it was there, but
Yeah.
and I don't like needles, so you can trust me on it. If I no pain, and then I went 6 times, that lets you know it definitely was not an uncomfortable type thing. So
Yeah.
I'm going to answer that. For me, it was very, very comfortable and relaxing. Like, if you left me alone there too long, I was definitely nodding out. I think sometimes I actually had to have my earbuds on because I was listening to a Zoom call. But outside of that, very, very relaxing.
People fall asleep all the time. I tell people I don't know what happened. It must be dentists or somebody who like got everybody freaky about needles. Like
I
oh my
have
god.
yes, no. Honestly, that's my thing. Like I had a horrible experiences as a child.
Yeah,
And it's funny you said Asian. I had an Asian dentist. He had no mercy.
that's funny.
He
That's
had
funny.
no mercy. But then years later, I went to a dentist and I got my courage back. And matter of fact, I'll never forget it. When he finished with me, I literally just like bowed to him. I'm like, I was like, thank you, thank you. So I've been a big girl ever since then.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
When I first opened, I opened up next door to a medical doctor who was like Dr. Chen, and
Mhm.
everybody would walk into his office looking for the acupuncturist, and he'd be like, "No, it's the Italian guy next door." It was like really funny.
Wow.
Yeah, it was interesting. Uh, so yeah, if it hurts, it's bad for business.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to come back. You don't want that. Uh,
exactly.
you also don't want to. People naturally, if something is painful or uncomfortable, they're only gonna come as often as they won't come enough to get better.
True.
You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
if they're nervous. So and they're not needles. They're like the tiniest little teeny pins.
Mhm.
They're a little bigger than a hair, you know, uh, and they're not shaped like a needle at all. They're just so different. It's just such a different thing that I explain that to people too. It's like a medical doctor uses a needle that has to be big enough to put fluid through it, to put the medicine through it.
True.
Acupuncture's needles, nothing goes in it, so it can get as small. I mean, so tiny, and
Hmm.
but the signal that it creates and sends to your brain is very powerful. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Tell me about. Give us a couple of really good success stories, or people that were very. I mean, I was very satisfied, but just somebody that was really really suffering and they got better.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people scheduled for surgeries, like For a lot of times, I mean, throughout my career, I'm people's last resort.
Mhm.
This is the last thing, then I'm going to the surgeon.
Okay.
And, I mean, I must have had 20, 25 people who were able to cancel their appointment.
Mhm.
So, because, um, a lot of times, like I said, the body needs to be told to do the repairs again.
Sure.
Or, like I had a case where referred pain, like people get back pain, and you'll hear they say they have pain going into their leg,
Mhm.
right? Well, sometimes they have a back problem and a leg problem. But because they have a back problem, medical doctors assume it's the back.
Mhm.
But they have a back and a leg problem. You follow
Okay.
me?
Yeah.
So the pain in their leg is actually coming from their leg. So I had a person who had back surgery. The discs in their back were fused, and they came in to see me um, and said I had this back surgery and I still have the pain in my leg. One pin, I put it one pin, and it was gone, and it was better.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I've had about I talked about fertility. Fertility is much more complicated, but I've had about 90 babies so far with women who I've treated for fertility.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean like 90. You know what I mean? Not two. Not
90.
one. Like 90.
Awesome.
I used to keep track, and I got tired of keep. You get to 90. All right, already.
Yeah, that's great stuff though.
Yeah, but that's
That's
really
amazing.
that goes back to it's very similar to like what I talked about with acne.
Mhm.
Is a hormone imbalance in the body, and two of the five treatments for infertility are treating the kidneys. So you restore the body's natural hormone balance,
Mhm.
and then they're able to get pregnant the old-fashioned way.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So I mean,
amazing.
but I mean, when I became an acupuncturist, like even when the first person came in to see me for fertility, I'm like, what? We learned it in school,
Uh-huh.
but I'm an American. I'm thinking pain too. I'm not thinking fertility. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But no one was more surprised than me when and I've heard all the jokes. So stop it, folks. None of them are mine, right?
Oh my goodness.
But they were, so nobody was more surprised than me. I mean,
Wow.
in the beginning, I was there with my textbook,
Sure.
getting out, and then the baby started happening, and that's a wonderful, that's a great day, when somebody
Absolutely. Because they
comes,
want it. Yeah.
I mean, so that's kind of a cool thing, but that's definitely a complicated thing to talk to the public about. It's
Sure. Sure.
pretty 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 complex stuff.
I'm
So
certain. I'm
yeah.
certain.
So, but acupuncturists are like primary care providers.
Okay.
We do some good stuff. If
You do. I think you're great.
thank you,
You
thank you.
are welcome. Well, that's about all I have to ask. I know one of the biggest things I wanted to share was about the, the it's not painful. I know when we think of a pen or needle or something going in our body, there's that automatic, the flags go up and it's like,
Yeah,
wait, I'm going to be a
yeah.
pen cushion, but no, you're not. I've even taken pictures and I think you had them here. And I took pictures and posted them. So people were like, oh my God,
Well,
no
I can tell
pain.
you, in
Mhm.
the 25 years I've been doing acupuncture, I have never sold anybody on coming to see me. When you're ready
Yeah.
and you want to try it, give it a shot. It'll be very relaxing. It doesn't hurt. But like I have never convinced anybody to come in. People
Yeah.
think about it. They go to the website.
Hmm.
They get tired of being in pain, or they're feeling adventurous and they just say, I'm going to try something new. And then after they do it, they're like, I don't know what I was thinking about it so much for. That was not a big deal. I don't know
Exactly.
why I was so worried, and that's pretty much how it goes.
And the website, I don't know, it's kind
It's
of moved over. It is
acupuncture, Connecticut, the whole word spelled out. richardcovello.com. And, it's the Italian acupuncturist.
Well, there you have it, guys. That's Richard Covello, and that's my acupuncturist I am comfortable with. I probably won't go to another one because I'm satisfied. So again, that's acupunctureconnecticut.com. You can go on that website, or you can dial a phone number that's listed here, 203-693-3425. If you're not in the area, do your homework, ask the questions, interview them, ask them, have you gone to a 3 or 4 year school and you have all your certifications and your license? Ask questions. I mean, it's your body. So I think it's great. But Richard, I want to thank you for coming on today and sharing that information with us. I'll be back really, really soon because I always feel great when I leave your office. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll talk real soon.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So there you have it, guys. That's Richard Covello, and he is the acupuncturist that I go to. And I always leave a very satisfied client. I always feel great when I leave there. I usually go first thing in the mornings, and I have had great results. So I did six rounds, and I took a break because I'm actually working with my physical therapist for a moment. And I will go back. And I have to say, I'm not using my medical insurance, and it is very affordable. They actually have some bundles or specials that you can get, and it's working for my pocket. So it's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. I want to just come back one more time. I want to highlight Tiffany again. Please go and vote for Tiff. She is in a competition for health and fitness, and you can vote for her right there. All right, misshealthandfitness.com/2021/Tiffany. And you can vote as many times as you like. I'm not certain when it closes, but it just started, I think, on the 16th. So let's go do that for Dr. Tiffany because she's been great when she came on while we wait. All right, guys, that is it for today. We'll be back next Thursday at 4:30. Same time, same bat station. Remember, be strong, be wise. Keep enhancing your life because life is worth living and we are all waiting for something. Have a great day.
I stay wise. I live hands. I stay strong. I stay wise. I live hands.